Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Playbook, where we bring on different BAM team members each week to highlight some of the cool placements they're getting for their clients. This week, we are bringing on Julian, who recently got his client on Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies list. Let's check out how he got that. Hey, Julian, thank you so much for coming on. So excited to have you. This is your first time.
Hey, Kendall, thanks for having me. Yes, I'm very excited.
Let's kick off. Since this is your first time, give us your full background at BAM, what you do, the clients you work with. Tell us all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm Julian Paolino. I'm based in Huntington Beach, California. I've been with BAM for 5 years as of last week. I'm a senior account manager here, so a lot of focus on media relations strategy and execution. Lots of other things that we do, but those are really what I'm focused on. Client wise, I have a nice range. I have some healthcare, I have some small business focused clients, some sustainability focuses. So I have a nice little gamut to choose what I want to focus on every day, which is exciting.
It's nice to have that range because I feel like sometimes if you're just focusing on one, it can get a little stagnant. So it's nice to have everything and be able to dip your hands and feet everywhere.
Totally.
So let's talk about Inspiren. This is what we are here for. I think this is going to be a huge hit on this episode. Tell us before we get into everything that you got for them, tell us about them, what they do, and their background.
Yeah, Inspiren is an AI powered ecosystem that really combines software, hardware, and clinical expertise. So a lot of things are encapsulated in this solution. They have a lot of great case studies in how they've been able to deliver care at a superior standard, including some data points around, reduction in emergency room visits and an increase in occupancy. So they're really focused on working with senior living communities and helping them innovate to deliver a better standard of care and really save lives.
I love that. I think anything health is so impactful and it's so fun to work on because I feel like you can see the value so distinctly.
Yeah.
So I think everybody wants to know,
Mm.
how do you get on Fast Company lists, specifically Fast Company most innovative companies list? I know Inspiren made that. You guys made that happen for them. Can you dive into all the tips you have? How did that come about? Maybe even what were the internal conversations that were going on that said, hey, let's definitely go after this? Give us that full breakdown because I feel like these lists are things that people strive to get on, and there's
Mhm.
only a select few that make them. So give us that full range here.
Sure. So Fast Company does a numerous amount of annual lists, but most innovative tends to be one of the more valued ones because it's very broad in terms of everything that it can cover and it's really focused on innovation. So if you want to make it on that list, you really need to emphasize what have you done for me lately? So we were in a fortunate position with Inspiren where we had been talking to Fast Company just recently about an alliance that was formed amongst Inspiren senior living communities and then other tech vendors. That was really the first of its kind. So we were having some conversations with the editors there. And then shortly after, we announced a case study with Solera Senior Living in Las Vegas. So we had results from late last year that we were able to say, because of this 10-month deployment of Inspiring at these senior living communities, we had an 87% fall reduction for one resident. We had 50% faster response times, all great data points that we can point to. So my tips would be lean into things that are recent. Are there product updates even that are innovative and going to capture some attention? Ideally, if you have some recent data, that would really be the sticking point. Definitely believe that that is how we got on that list because it was a big part of the coverage that we secured. Once the article came out, here's the most innovative companies according to Fast Company. Our data was a really big section of the write up that they did. So clearly that made an impact.
For sure. And I know you mentioned there are a ton of lists.
Mhm.
Is there ever a point, and maybe it's not just with this client, but is there ever a point where you are grappling between 2 lists? Like, okay, this is maybe a list that could be really interesting, or this one. And if that is the case for founders who are maybe in that in between, do you submit for 2? Do you go for just 1? What are your thoughts on that? And how do you pick?
Mhm. Well, a good place to start in terms of where to pick is looking at the winners from last year and the year before and seeing if you want to be in the realm of those companies. Inspiren is very well established. We just announced a very large fundraising round last year. So if you're looking at that list and you're seeing it's really companies that are more like seed or pre-seed and just kicking off and doing some innovative things, and you're more established, you probably don't want to go for that list. So yeah, I would take a look at previous winners, and then also they are very specific in terms of what they're looking for eligibility. So these lists are difficult to get onto because you have to have a strong application, but there are a lot of options. So take them in. You can apply to every single one if you want to spend several thousands of dollars, and might increase your chances, but really would focus on 1 to maybe 2 applications that are going to be strong and get you where you want to be.
Super helpful. I think these, like I said, I feel like for founders, especially in startups, early stage startups, these are huge to get on, and it's hard to get on them. So, Julian, this is super helpful. To close this out, what I'm hearing from you is bring your why to the application, bring your why now points, bring all your data. If there's anything going on, anything you guys have released recently, make sure all that info's in there and make it as compelling as possible, which I feel like everybody knows for these lists is super important. But data and a strong why now and what's happening in the company. So, to close out this podcast, this doesn't have to be related to Fast Company's lists. This can just be for founders in general. What are your top tips for founders who are looking to land press?
I would recommend leaning into anything that makes the founder or spokesperson that you're pitching authentic. We have other clients where maybe we're emphasizing that this founder is really young in a field that is dominated by typically older age groups, or you can find something unique to highlight about the person or company that you're pitching, and really encouraging them to be themselves. We need to provide bold perspective to be noticed right now. It can't be an AI summary of the news. It needs to be your genuine take on it. And that's where I'm seeing there's room for the taking of, when you Google out there, you can tell who is and there's nothing wrong with using AI to get started on these things, but you can tell who is putting true, genuine, bold perspective in their quotes, and that makes PR everything a lot easier and bold.
For sure. I hear an overarching theme. Bring uniqueness. Bring uniqueness to everything you can do. It is a game changer. You can start with AI, but you have to have those unique perspectives in every front. So I think that is a great takeaway. Julian, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Super helpful. I think everybody will love this episode. And for
Awesome.
everyone listening, we'll be on again next week and we'll see you then. Thanks, Julian.
Thanks, Kendall.